My God, you don't fail to win women over because you're weak, boring, or incompetent. You fail because you're bound by unfounded rules, and that's not your fault. So, today we'll discuss the rules that prevent intelligent men from winning over high-value women. They're effective because they're based on one fundamental truth. Biology doesn't care about rules, and facts don't care about feelings. Welcome to this world. This video isn't polite, it doesn't cater to political trends, and it doesn't offer comfort. It wasn't designed to protect feelings, control, or manipulate women. It was designed to empower them to attract others naturally. How does attraction really work, men? You've learned from movies that glorify persistence, and from rules that also glorify it, while ignoring the biology of attraction. These are the words of people who lived in a time when couples stayed together not out of desire, but out of pressure, fame, or limited options. The rules seem ethical, safe, and reasonable, but they never account for power, politics, or emotional influence. You are advised to be patient, consistent, and understanding, to talk to her more, give her time, and show her you care. You think that if you do all this for a long time, attraction will happen. No, this belief is detrimental to men, making them ignore their feelings when they're one-sided. Attraction doesn't happen simply because you've been persistent, patient, or proven how good a man you are. Yes, some of these things are important, but not without other essential qualities. Most men learn this lesson too late. Their assumptions kill their interest from the start. No one tells you that your modest effort is a waste of time. No one warns you that explaining yourself diminishes the impact needed to pique your interest. And no one explains why the man who puts in the most effort often loses. So you give more, you sacrifice more, you persevere more, and without realizing it, you teach women how little it takes to keep you interested without showing disrespect. Okay, that's all for today. Let's look at 9 rules smart men follow. First, don't try to be attractive. This rule can be emotionally damaging when men learn it too late, because it renders years of compliments worthless. And again, it's not your fault. Most men believe that attractiveness is a measure of character. Be loyal, patient, supportive, and willing. She'll eventually like you. Or not? Wrong. Attraction isn't just about effort. It's about responding to values, boundaries, and self-respect. When a man tries to attract a woman, he's signaling that his worth is based on her choosing him. And when he gets her acceptance, the attraction starts flowing immediately. This is where many men become frustrated. They did everything perfectly. They were present when others were absent, and they listened when others returned. They were steadfast in their positions when others were unpredictable. Yet they still lacked attention, not because goodness is inherently bad, but because attention hides behind the effort exerted when standards are absent. Making an effort without being pressured shows that you'll persevere regardless of how she treats you. Ultimately, your self-confidence is crucial to attracting her. You can't attract her without consequences. The positive side is that you show interest without rushing, invite her over without pursuing her, and invest without delay or expecting emotional reciprocation. Your life will remain complete, your identity will stay the same, and you'll enjoy her company. But you won't be consumed by her reactions. She wasn't chosen to protect your emotional state. The attraction grows because you're not testing her or waiting for confirmation of her feelings. The downside is that you're overdoing it, showing too much emotion and apologizing too much. You fear losing her, so you avoid stress, avoid rejection, and don't make a scene even if something is bothering you. Even if you can't express it, she senses this contradiction. She might not reveal anything or test you. She might even continue to accept your ideas, but her attraction to you is fading. For example, let's say she's observing the situation, controlling it, and making plans. It's not bad, but when you back off a little, she responds by putting in more effort, and that's bad. She responds by putting in less effort, so you increase yours. Eventually, she says she's no longer attracted to you. Then she wonders what happened and thinks women are unbearable. The truth is, her sexual attraction is influenced by your self-confidence, not your self-promotion. This is the next rule that most men resist because it forces them to confront their relationship and their fear of loss. The second rule is to be prepared to leave, even if you love her. Men think that leaving means giving up. No, it doesn't. Leaving means you were never strong. A man who isn't willing to leave has no influence. A man who insists on staying no matter what teaches her that boundaries are fluid and that fluid boundaries are not respected. Being willing to step aside is not betrayal. It's a demonstration of self-respect. More importantly, if she recognizes this willingness, even if she doesn't express it, and especially if you don't want to, it makes her feel that your presence is a choice, not an obligation. Isolation is only effective if there is a choice. In the positive scenario, let's assume you address the problem calmly and clearly. You didn't threaten or beg her. If her behavior persists, leave. She will either change or she won't agree. Both possibilities exist. In the negative scenario, let's assume you stayed and negotiated. You explained things to her again, showing more patience, hoping her behavior would change because you were making so many concessions. The reason this rarely happens is that forgiveness teaches people what they can do without consequence. For example, you ignore your concerns, you explain how you felt about her, she repeats her actions, and you repeat your explanation. Eventually, she leaves. Well, you're teaching her how to treat you by rewarding her or allowing her to do it. A man who can't leave has already left. The next rule that smart men follow is completely contrary to their nature. Rule 3, don't rescue her, don't fix her, and don't soothe her. Well, men are naturally inclined to protect, fix, and rescue her. When this instinct replaces loving companionship with paternal qualities, it destroys attraction. Just as a mother's approach spoils a girlfriend's, so does a father's. Care makes you feel safe, but it alone doesn't ignite desire. When a man takes responsibility for a woman's emotional well-being, he becomes a father figure, not just a romantic partner. While we appreciate those who provide care, it's not a prerequisite for sexual desire. In fact, it's often the opposite. On the positive side, they listen without taking responsibility. They support you without correcting you unless asked, and they uphold your independence. She feels safe and secure, not like a mother. The downside is that you're trying to control her emotions, putting up with her anxiety, and trying to calm her down while your life falls apart. You feel comforted, not cared for. When you act like her therapist, not her husband or father, the care disappears. You know what I mean. For example, you reassure her every time she feels upset, even if she's supposed to be at work. You constantly reassure her, even if she's being emotionally abused. She feels controlled, but the desire fades. Ultimately, attraction requires self-respect. Now, if these rules make you feel comfortable, that's fine, because men don't learn how attraction works. Just as young boys are taught by their mothers to be friendly, accepting, and emotionally available at all costs, let's delve deeper and see how these standards maintain attraction. Rule number 4, ring the bell to confirm. Yes, confirm. Yes. It restricts emotional expression from the outset. Well, this rule goes completely at odds with modern dating advice. Men are often advised to open up in the morning, be emotionally transparent, and immediately show their emotional vulnerability. But this advice overlooks a crucial step. Emotional vulnerability is only effective when coupled with emotional control. Sharing feelings is not necessarily a sign of insecurity. In fact, when a man displays his confusion, fear, or emotional dependency before he has gained confidence in his ability to solve his problems, he becomes more prone to them. Motherhood doesn't create intimacy, it creates pressure, it destroys friendship. An emotionally healthy woman doesn't feel safe with men who lack self-control, but with men who can express themselves freely without being controlled by their emotions. Bad men can't control a woman's behavior because, fundamentally, an emotionally healthy woman needs stimulation. Yes, but security is also important. On the positive side, you share it by choice. You speak out of fear and confusion, not clarity. You share your depth gradually, not all at once. You feel there's more to gain. She's attracted to you emotionally, not romantically. The attraction grows when she senses the calm beneath that clarity. The downside is that you share too much with her from the start, constantly give in, and have a need for validation. You make her a prisoner of your fears. Now, she might listen and comfort you, but the emotional leadership is gone, and therefore the attraction is gone. For example, you express how much you love and need her, your unresolved past pain, and your fear of abandonment in all your relationships. At first, she appreciates your honesty, but you sense a change in her. Well, after a few days or weeks, she'll withdraw. Either she doesn't know what happened, or she thinks she can't handle this vulnerability. The truth is quite simple. She's lost her appeal because a slight weakness has replaced a hidden strength. You'll want to watch that video next. It evokes deep emotions and eliminates emotional instability, while the one rule that can save men from years of confusion. Rule number 5, don't reward conflicting signals. Conflicting signals aren't secrets or romantic attraction, they're information. When desire is genuine, behavior is consistent. When desire is unclear, behavior becomes ambiguous. Intelligent men don't seek ambiguity. Ambiguity is a clear rejection. It's positive when her efforts align with yours and communication is consistent. When consistency is lacking, you must cooperate with her. There's no room for evasion, conflict, passive-aggressive punishment, and certainly no stalking. She might come back or disappear. Both possibilities exist. In a negative scenario, her reactions will be limited and her plans will be vague. In that case, you'll need to put in more effort, encouraging her to open up and explaining her disagreements. If you're overly defensive, she'll emotionally agitate you. For example, she might say she loves you but will never initiate a relationship. She craves attention, but she might cheat or cancel plans at the last minute. She'll reappear time and again, waiting for you as a backup option. More importantly, her indecisiveness isn't a challenge, it's a warning. Next rule, infuriate her with men who confuse selfishness with love. Rule 6, she prioritizes his life over her own feelings. A man who lacks purpose may be emotionally available, but he's not attractive. Purpose creates contrast, and contrast creates attraction. When a man focuses his life solely on a woman's feelings, he ceases to be a lover and becomes emotionally numb. On the positive side, let's assume your life is still fulfilling. Your goals remain and the relationship is entering your life. This will protect your precious masculinity, which you are naturally drawn to. It will appear as if she is chosen by you, not something you are responsible for, and that's what women want. If things go wrong, she will abandon the plans you made to please her. By constantly adapting to her emotional state, you will lose the value of your world to yourself. For example, you will stop spending time with your friends or give up your healthy daily activities. She says you've changed. What she really means is that you've changed your approach. Whatever a woman says, she loses what she initially agreed to. Ultimately, if you seduce and change her, she'll give in and leave. The following rule isn't common, and for good reason. Rule 7, don't negotiate boundaries. Boundaries reveal reality. A boundary that is repeatedly drawn ceases to be a boundary and becomes an obligation. Repeating obligations teaches people that consequences are optional. The positive aspect is that they set a boundary once, calmly, clearly, and lovingly. If it is crossed again, they enforce the consequences lovingly and firmly. If a compromise is possible, back down. Ultimately, respect will be achieved if your values align. Otherwise, you've escaped a difficult situation. You can explain, justify, plead, or warn without taking any action in a negative situation. Disrespect is normal. It will test you further and push your boundaries further. For example, it might be verbally abused. Leave her alone. It will happen again. Explain why you're upset, but don't tell her the consequences. It will happen again. Your self-confidence will crumble as she feels isolated. Boundaries only work if they are enforced. Rule number 8, respond slowly instead of being forceful. This rule may seem strange to anxious or stressed men. Haste indicates uncertainty. Calmness indicates control. Isolation responds to anxiety, not mere presence. In a positive situation, don't rush to reassure her. Respond with purpose. You are giving her hope. In a negative situation, she responds immediately. She wants reassurance and feels no ambiguity. For example, she might send a short message. She responds immediately with text messages. Then she starts to distance herself. This creates a distance between you. Even healthy women are more attracted to men whose feelings for them are ambiguous or uncertain, at least initially. Above all, women need this tension. Tension generates emotional arousal, and it generates sexual attraction. Okay, before I reveal the amazing rules smart men follow to attract attractive women, if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. A huge thank you to everyone who's already watched it. Rule number 9, accept that some women won't like you. What a real freedom for a man. Trying to please everyone won't make you attractive to anyone. Rejection isn't failure, it's a filter. In a positive way, you accept indifference calmly and gracefully, moving on without resentment. You preserve your dignity. In a negative way, you strive for acceptance. You abandon your standards and lose yourself completely for a woman. For example, you know when attraction is waning or when you feel exploited or abused. You might call it patience, but it's really fear. And most importantly, accepting rejection is a powerful skill. Do all women struggle to start a relationship? Of course not. But some are calm, mature, and want to maintain attraction without conflict or problems. I know this sounds strange. Most men fail because they ignore patterns. Which of the 9 rules of being a smart man is the most attractive? And why? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story might help another man avoid wasting years of his life. Remember, you're not here to attract women, negotiate respect, or solve workaholism problems. You're here to build a life a healthy woman would want to have. Watch my videos about sexually strong and weak women and tragically weak and vulnerable women. With my deepest love and warmest embrace, may God bless you.